Hello, my viewers. Welcome. This is the lifestyle tips with your host Christine. For those that have been following my previous videos, I want to welcome you back. And for those that are joining me for the first time, I want to say welcome. Now, as you may know, or as you may or may not know, uh, I share valuable tips that you and I can use on a day-to-day basis, and I do that through various reputable sources like magazines. And so, for today's topic, I'm gonna be sharing today's tips. And we know it's that time of the month. It's February, and as I promised you, I'll be giving you some juicy tips. And for those who, if you've seen my previous videos, we've shared some tips that have to do with celebrating Black History Month. I've shared some tips that have juicy tips that have to do with your heart. So for today's topic, I'm gonna share one of the very most important things that we celebrate in the month of February, and that's Valentine's. All right, as we know, the 14th is not very far away from today. I think we have about 4 or 5 days to go before Valentine's, right? So, as I promised, I have some juicy tips for my viewers, for all my viewers out there that are celebrating Valentine's, and I'm gonna say Happy Valentine's in advance. And I'm gonna have some juicy tips for my viewers, especially for the couples, right? Now, if you're going on a date if you're a guy and you're going on a date for the first time, I have a video that talks about some of the neat tips you want to put into consideration if you're taking your lady out. But for today's topic, I'm going to be sharing some tips for couples, okay? On how to, if you're planning on taking your date out there for a special, special evening, or special, if you have a special treat for your date this Valentine, I have some tips here, and I hope they come in handy, and I hope you find them useful, okay? So I hope you're ready. And I'm sharing tips from the men's magazine. I like this magazine because it has some really neat information for men, because it's a men's magazine. But regardless, I find information that women can use as well, right? So regardless, you can buy it for your, you can buy it for your man if you're a woman, or if you can also find some neat articles that can work for both men and women. Now, for today's topic, this is a topic that has to do with elevating your date. So if you're planning on taking your date out for Valentine's, these today's tips are gonna show us on how to elevate that. How can you take it a step ahead? That's my understanding of the topic, right? So if you've done if you've gone on a few dates with your other half, or it could be your wife, it could be your girlfriend, it could be your spouse, it could be, you've probably done a few things, you've done a few things on Valentine's or some other dates, and you're trying to find something different. You want to do something different, right? So today's tips are here just to help us with that. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're comfortable. Let's roll. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to read a little bit into the topic before we get to the juicy part. So hang in there with me. Let's roll. Okay, as I quote, elevate any date. Here is how to make the predictable date an unforgettable adventure. Okay, and I'm going to read into details. You're creative, talented, full of ideas. In fact, you're a bottomless pit of innovation, curiosity, and fun. Then why are you such a boring date? Dinner, a movie, a walk in the park? Ah. What next? A carriage ride? No. Here's a little secret. If you really want to impress a woman, show her something new. Give her an experience she's never had before. Trust me, if you do it properly, she will return the favor later that night. The trick is to set up a situation that can spark intimacy, building conversation. A great date is about Me Too moments, says Nicholas Bothman, author of How to Make Someone Love You Forever in 90 Minutes or Less. It's all about self-disclosure, where you where you grow closer by exchanging ideas, feelings, hopes, and vulnerabilities. Here, then, are 5 dates every man has in his arsenal, and the ways you can elevate them to a new level. Okay? All right. So my understanding, just repeat, is it's about doing something different, something out of the ordinary, something that's that's something that's unpredictable. You want to surprise her, right? That's the whole intention, and I think it works both ways. If you're a lady and you're planning on surprising your man or something, it works. I think it works both ways. Okay. All right. So number one, dinner and a movie. Upgrade, shift the scene. With just a little ingenuity, you can invigorate this crusty old standby. First of all, rearrange the order. See the movie before dinner. Then replace the popcorn and soda with an appetizer that bridges itself with the movie, says Eric Garrison, a Manhattan-based sex therapist and dating coach. Catching an Italian flick, wrap a few slices of prosciutto around some honeydew and sneak in 2 plastic wine glasses and a couple of splits of vino. Sure, it's against the rules, but that's not the point. Have fun with it. Okay. All right, that's a it's I mean that's creative. Well, my understanding is if you're taking your lady or man out to the movie, forget all the popcorn and the pop and whatever they have at the cinema. Sneak in something different, like a glass of wine, and if depending on the theme of the movie, right? So this is, I think it's a neat tip, but you gotta be really daring to do that, and that's what it's all about. So you want to dare yourself and do something different. Okay, number two, evening stroll in the park. Every upgrade, how it's up to how to upgrade it. Give her the universe too. Uh, it's one thing to point out at the sky and blank out. A big deeper. That's likely that's likely be the beginning and the end of that conversation. Instead, show her some celestial sights up close. A glimpse of Saturn's rings or Jupiter moons through even the most modest equipment should make her melt. Not only because they are gorgeous to look at, but also because seeing them firsthand makes them real in a way no herbal photo can. Plus, it's a natural way to start a conversation about big stuff. Looking at the night sky is great. Okay? All right. So, number 3.3 or tip number 3. Watching the sunset. Your upgrade would be paint it. Okay, here's how. As I quote, dates are filled with potentially romantic moments. Sadly, many of these moments are cliches. The carriage ride through the park, the New Year's Eve kiss, sunset on the beach, these can work against you. Let's find out why. When we try too hard or are predictable, when we work too hard or in predictable ways to create intimacy, we generally fail, says Scott Stanley, coordinator for the Center of Marital and Family Studies at the University of Denver, and the author of The Power of Commitment. Intimacy is about revealing the self, but the self isn't revealed on command. That's why a paint set might just totally kick the bottle of wine as the as the must-have accessory of a cool fall sunset. You're both painting the same thing, but your final products are going to be completely different. Being creative reveals part of yourself, your values, your dreams, your fears. Stanley says, and no one has to be interrogated or feel threatened. All exposed. It comes out very organically in an express in a creative expression. All right. So okay, my understanding is that, instead of sitting waiting for the sunset to go, do something creative, paint it, take pictures or whatever to make spice up things a little bit, right? Okay, so if you're gonna try that, good luck with that. It's all about being daring, right? Okay, so the next tip, which is a Sunday drive. Your upgrade in this case, I guess it will be a Tuesday drive because Valentine's is on Tuesday. But I guess it doesn't matter. Whenever you choose to do what you're gonna do. So for a Sunday drive, your upgrade would be to stage home invasions. Okay, and let's find out how. Take advantage of the glut out of out for sale homes on the market, or go on an open house tour. Marianne Brandon, the co-author of Reclaiming Desire, Four Keys to Finding Your Lost Libido, says, such adventures are great for setting up scores of insightful exchanges. You get to see the person's test, and because you're looking at home, this brings up memories of both of you and interesting things to discuss, she says. As you scan the open house ads in the paper, go for variety. The modest from modest order homes that might help you explore each other's past to more immediate nesting urges to the higher dollar smart mansions that reveal your aspirations. Looking at homes is a great way to encourage a natural organic conversation about what you want from the future. How you see your lives unfolding, says Herb, author of What Men Still Don't Know About Women, Relationships, and Love. Okay, so I think this is a neat idea. If I guess this works well for a young couple. If you're planning on moving in together or you're planning to buy property together, I think that works well. But for a couple that if you're already in your own house or you have your own house, you don't have intentions of looking for another place, I'm not sure how that could work out. But I guess you know your situation better. So if this is a tip that can work for you, why not? All right. Okay. And the last tip is smacking golf balls. Your upgrade would be shoot clay birds. And let's find out how. Hitting the drive range may be fun, but it's not anything she hasn't done a million times before. But exploding a bunch of clay discs with a shotgun, now that will surprise her. Most women have never shot before and they'll be fascinated once they go, says Paula, a manager for the angle shooting ranges in Lake View Terrace, California. And I would say 90% of the women who come here are better shots than the men. A woman wants to take time to do it right, while the men mostly want to shoot off a whole box of ammo. Wacky as this might sound, a friendly round of competition, trap shooting is a great first date. If you're sitting in a restaurant staring at each other, it's a it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure on the conversation, says Stanley. But dealing with the targets and equipment is so structured and focusing. Put your anxiety into that, and the conversation flows freely. Many public outdoor ranges rent equipment and provide lessons and let you get to it. All right, so that's been the last tip. But before we go, I want to share some points here that might that you want to avoid that might turn your date into a disaster. Okay, and these are going to be quick and short. So, fast tracking for dating disaster. Okay, so here are things 600. Here are some things you don't want to do as a guy, or I guess it works for women too, right? So 626 women reveal which moves will make an evening end with a handshake. Okay, number one, taking a call during dinner. Two, forgets his wallet. Three, doesn't hold the door open. Four, complains about his ex. Five, arrives underdressed. Six, cranks vintage scorpions. Seven, talks a lot about himself. 8, chews with his mouth open. 9, quotes the symptoms. 10, quotes yes. 11, puts his arms around me. And lastly, cops a feel. Okay, so my dear viewers there, if you don't want to have your date end into a disaster, you want to avoid those. Okay, so those have been the tips for today. Once again, I've been your host, Christine. Please don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. But don't forget to share. Most important, if you feel these tips could be useful to somebody out there, please share them with some friends. And if you find them valuable, please give us a thumbs up. Now to the ladies, and so the next our next video, I'm gonna be sharing how to keep your roses, all the flowers, ladies, you're gonna be getting. We wanna keep those fresh for a longer period of time, right? Because they're good memories. They're gonna, hoping that that Valentine day goes well for you and you get a bunch of roses. I'm gonna be sharing some tips on how to keep them fresh. Okay. Until then, I've been your host, Christine. Cheers.